Hi, it's Vincent here. Welcome to the show. Today I'm here with Renece Brewster from Visual Domain. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to check with you in relation to the video side of things for consumers today.
Yep.
Your company you've got thousands and thousands of videos that you've done for property videos.
A lot, yep.
And you've been running for 6 years.
That's right, yep.
Yeah, and I just wanted to check your thoughts around this whole online space, and I suppose from a consumer point of view, the difference between just having property photos versus having a video. What would you say are the benefits?
Well, I think the two are important. I guess the thing that gets me with the property video so much is just, I don't think people understand their return on investment when they're selling their home. I think people understand you need a good agent. You need someone who can negotiate on your behalf, look for every single buyer and work them to their maximum. But the marketing side of things, I think, is still a bit more of an education process. And when I kind of just look at kind of marketing as a whole and the different options available, it's just a no-brainer to me why people wouldn't get a video when it actually gives them so much in return for a very small cost on the outset. So in my mind, it doesn't matter how good the agent is, how big a buyer database they've got, how hot the market is and how quickly properties are selling. If you're not marketing the home properly, how do you know you're capturing every single potential buyer out there? And the video, I think, has got the best chance of doing that beyond other marketing.
Yeah.
The reason for that, I feel most of your buyers start online. So we know that 9 out of 10 buyers will start their research online. And we know as well that if you've got a property video, you get a great big play button on most of the major portals, and most of the agent sites as well will give you a play button. And those play buttons on the search results are 4 times more likely to get clicked on than the ones without. So just by having a video, even if no one watches it, you're actually getting 4 times more views than without it. So if that's nothing, that's something right there,
absolutely.
Go with that.
Especially if people are in a position where they want to have their place rank higher and in the search results and those sorts of things, but also to be in a position where you get that level of engagement with people.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the next stage. So once you sort of view the home on the listing, you go through the photos, and the photos are critical. Like, I don't want to discount the importance of professional photography when you're selling your home, because it's the first impression, it's what people click through first, and once they click through that, they'll kind of view the floor plan and is the layout right for me and my family. But the video after that, now that's our point where we can actually create an emotional connection with our buyer and sell the features that sometimes those other mediums can't. So be that the lifestyle, which you yourself are a very good testament to. I'd say even your videos, it's probably 30% home versus 70% lifestyle that we're actually focused on. But for others, it might be the home itself, and it's really now about creating this pull, and it's getting this buyer to the open for inspection. That's the point of it. We want buyers to come to the open, to get in front of your agent that you're paying a lot of money for, to do their job and negotiate on your behalf. And the more people they can do that with, all the better.
Yeah, and you can create that more competitive environment, help to push the price up. It all helps. And I can imagine, even with the owners, they've gone to all the trouble of presenting their home.
Yeah.
But yet, and one of the things I say is there's 3 presentations to a home. The presentation of the home, the way that they actually present it, and the second one's the way that the agent presents it.
Yep.
And then the third way is how the agent actually represents it. So when the agent's there meeting them at the open home.
Yeah.
So with the video, in that second part of it, how it's presented online is just absolutely critical, isn't it?
Well, it's what can seal the deal. So, I mean, the average video, a good video, goes for 60 to 90 seconds, and someone viewing that property online is now looking at your property for a minute or a minute and a half more than all the competitor properties that are on the market at that particular time. So even the time that people will end up spending viewing a home is, greater as a result of the video. But they're also a really unique affirmation tool as well, and this is the feedback we get from a lot of our agents, is the fact that someone comes down the open for inspection, they like the home, they go away and they think about it, and they watch the video, and it's kind of like, yeah, this is my home. Like, this is where I want to live. It's got that kind of rich emotional pull that can just work so well to kind of get someone from 99 to 100 and just go, that's my home and where I want to live. And you know, when you've got someone in that kind of mindset, your chances of getting them to pay top dollar is greatly increased. The other thing that they do, I think a lot of people don't realise that if you kind of found your home and you like it, to find it again online, a lot of people, you can't actually search for an address on some of the major real estate portals. You can't search for 1 Brown Street, Pretendville. You actually have to go through the search results. So what a lot of people do is they'll Google the address of the home. And we recommend to all our clients that they put their video on YouTube, and that's where it should live. We know that Google own YouTube, and YouTube generally get very high rankings and results. So if anyone's searching for that particular home, they'll actually find the video, you know, with a little thumbnail, and it's big and it's bold. And so even from that kind of after they've found the property standpoint, the video, again, it just puts it in the buyer's face and makes sure it's always top of mind. And I guess that's why I feel so passionately about it, because for what is relatively very small cost compared to other marketing, it just can do so much from so many different angles. And even it's sort of that warm fuzzy, if you've lived in your home for 20 years and you've raised the kids and you're selling your home, what a nice thing to keep away I know when I sold my home, I got the professional photography, and thought it was good seeing my home all lit up and nice, but the video was just, it was cool. Like I showed my kids, you know, this is where you had your first birthday party and they don't remember it. So having that video is a really nice keepsake of the home and where we grew up.
Well, it's funny you say that. One of my clients asked me just yesterday, what do they do with the big photo signboard, Greg? Can we peel that off and take that as a memento of our
Video's
property?
a little bit more portable, maybe.
But it's amazing just to think, you know, how there are those memories that people have that opportunity to engage with. And I think the key to it is bringing the home to life.
Yeah.
And yet, from an agent's perspective, we can really only take photos of the property itself.
Yeah.
And a person who knows the area, they could say, okay, well, we've seen that place and comparing and looking at the photos of that particular home. But a person from outside the area doesn't really know that the primary schools around the corner, the playgrounds just down the street, the train's only a walk away. They've got to go on to Google Maps and try to look for all that information. But if you can actually bring it all together... Yeah,
you can sell the dream. And I think that's the other thing as well, is a lot of people feel like, you know, a property video is only for the multi-million-dollar mansions, and my home's just an average home, I don't need a video. And the video is our opportunity to sell the potential and to sell the dream and to sell the park that's across the road, sell the lifestyle that living in this home offers. And, you know, maybe it's a renovation opportunity, but let's sell that. Like, this is a huge block. I reckon standard to council approval, we could put this on it and we can really talk to our potential buyer in a way that we know will cut through. And I think that's the unique opportunity with video that other marketing doesn't have. You're kind of leaving the marketing to people's own devices to make an assumption over. So, you know, you just give them a picture of the lounge room and they'll judge it and they'll move on. But if you can actually show it in a video and sell what's possible in this space, and be in the kitchen and sell the Miele oven and you know, all those little things, we're not just leaving it to chance that people will actually recognise that stuff themselves. We can actually tell them. So it's
and a lot of people actually make so many judgments about a photo online.
Do they? Yeah.
And even though they say a picture paints 1,000 words, how do they actually interpret those words? You know, what's their interpretation of it? And they go through that deselection process. So they go, no, I won't look at that, I won't look at that, won't look at that. Yes, I'll have a look at that. And then no, yes. So, and talking about the different price range, as you said, it doesn't have to be a multi-million-dollar property.
No.
We've sold properties in Richmond that were probably worth, you know, maybe around that 450 sort of mark, but we've sold them for 493 and 485, and the buyers from those properties came from outside the area. So they were actually
That's
attracted.
the other big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they were attracted from, one came from Parramatta,
Yeah.
and we sold them on the lifestyle of the area, and then another one came from the Eastwood area, and they bought the property, and the local buyers had to then compete against buyers who were a bit more cashed up and coming for that lifestyle. One of the things that I also look at with every bit of the marketing, and how, as I said before, the way that the homeowner presents the home is one thing.
Yeah.
How we actually present it into the marketplace is just so important. It's a bit like a glass of water versus a bottle of Evian.
Yeah.
You know, and that it's the same thing, but people will pay $6 for a bottle of Evian versus free glass of water.
Yeah.
So that perceived value and what representation you can have out there in the marketplace for that particular home.
Yeah.
And the way that video ties in to help build that.
Yeah.
It's an amazing medium.
Yeah, well, there is that stat that the property's value is 6% higher with a video. So there is that perception, definitely from buyers and on the marketplace, that having a video that you can increase the value of the home just based off perception, and so that's not a bad thing. So if you look at the return on investment from your cost of your video to the chance that people are going to value it higher, why wouldn't you do it?
Well, that makes sense, because a lot of agents are in a situation where they'll go out there and the consumer is going through the process of selecting their agent, and they'll oftentimes look at it based on how much the agent's charging. And so they might say, oh, this one's charging this, and then this one's 0.5% cheaper, and this one's another % cheaper. Whereas if you can increase the perceived value by 6%, I mean, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Compared to all that sort of trying to negotiate the agent side of it. So I can see so much value in using video as a medium.
Yeah, and I think when someone's actually selecting their agent, I mean, unfortunately, there is that kind of skepticism that's involved, and it's just really having people that you feel that you can trust and understand. And I feel that, I mean, all the agents we deal with, they are genuine, good people who do really passionately care about their job, and they will really push the marketing because they believe in it. And I mean, for us, the greatest sort of it's been so nice to see so many agents who just believe so passionately in video, because it works, and they've seen the results, and they wouldn't list a property without a video because they just know what it gives their buyers. And that's really the greatest testament is their belief, and so we know we're on the right path with it. Yeah,
and I think if they're in a situation where, from the seller's perspective, they really only get one chance to make that first impression.
Yeah.
And especially in the online space, there's so many distractions, there's so many properties available, there's so much choice. It's about being able to stand out and understand that your property's in competition, it's not in isolation.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, we just want to get people down to that open home. That's the goal of a good video, is to tease them just enough to get them to go down the open and get in front of your agent. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, terrific. Well, thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have got a lot out of that. And definitely, if you are looking at employing any agent, make sure that the agent's right across this video space and this online space, because it really is such an important part of the marketing of your home. So thanks again for your time.
No worries.
All right, I'll catch you next time.